Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also our beautiful country and how we're going to save this bad boy together. And that is one thing that we're going to focus on this video. You guys can love every second of it because we are in the middle of a U-turn of public perception in America, unlike I've ever seen before. We're getting whiplash all over the place. Even CNN is being forced to report on it, and that's what we're about to cover. Now, if you guys enjoy this content, you want to put America first, you want to spread that Second Amendment and leave more rights behind you than you found, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on because this bad boy is leaving the station, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think. Right down there in the comments. Everything is always sourced because I only bring you the best of receipts. Guys, we have got to talk about this situation right here. Now, you guys know I love me some Harry Enton. And Harry Enton is the guy on CNN who does all the polling, and he's like that quirky little nerdy guy. I actually genuinely like a lot of the stuff that he brings forward, and that's why it adds a lot of context to this channel, particularly during the election. But as we roll into this, look at this. Holy Toledo. American support for Ukraine has plummeted since Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. That's really important because it ties into a lot of other things. Hold a second, I'll connect all the dots. The percentage who say the U.S. is doing too much is up six-fold, from 7% to 41%. Among the GOP, it's north of 60%. U.S. confidence in Zelensky has dropped from 72 to under 50. This is not massive because of the Russian-Ukraine conflict. This is massive because all the U.S. aid money laundering reports that came out. All about 50% greater of the money we were sending in the $200 billion tune to Ukraine for this war that we aren't involved in was all going to special interest and slush funds. Yeah, the American population has seen the rock has been lifted and we are doing a U-turn. 600% increase? Okay, let's continue. And by the way, if you want to be up to date and have conversations with me on these topics, you can follow me on X at BradenLOA. We are grinding over there, and it's an amazing party. All the creators, check it out. All right, let's get into the news from Harry Enton. This is a really big deal, guys. Let's get it.
Toledo, look at this trend line here. U.S. support for Ukraine is too much. Back when the war began, back in February of 2022, it was just 7%. Up like a rocket ship. My goodness. Up now in February of 2025 to
3 years.
41%. And the clear majority of Republicans, and of course Republicans are in charge of the U.S. government now, 62% of Republicans say that the U.S. support for Ukraine is too much. What a difference from just 3 years ago. I can remember, John, all those backyards in the United States with those Ukrainian flags. Far fewer of them today, as Americans' opinions on Ukraine have changed dramatically.
What about? All right, so hold on a second, and this is really important. The big news here is not the GOP at 60%. Understand, this is much bigger than that. Because in order to get 41% of the general population to think we've done too much in in Ukraine, that means that the independents are on this side. The libs are going to do what the libs are going to do. Insert Facebook virtue signal here. However, the independents who are moving to the right against the Ukraine spending and the Republicans who are already doing it, guys, this is the exact same trend that we saw in the election. This is the same trend we're seeing in all the virtue signal topics that the left has done. Understand, when you're talking about pushing forward with our country and saving our country and shifting it back to where normalcy and rationality actually exist, this is an example. You got all the other things I can't mention specifically, whatever. Let's just keep going. Let's keep going.
Opinions of the Ukrainian president.
Right. Obviously, if you would expect changes amongst the public on feelings towards Ukraine, feelings towards Zelensky have changed also dramatically. Look at this. Confident Zelensky will do the right thing when it comes to world affairs. Back in 2022, it was the clear majority, 72% through the floor. Through the floor by 2024, just 48% of Americans say that they're confident that Zelensky will do the right thing when it comes to world affairs. And GOP confidence has also plummeted dramatically. Now the clear majority of Republicans are not confident that Zelensky will do the right thing when it comes to world affairs. Really a real trend line, ones you rarely see in the American public when it comes to Ukraine and Zelensky. Confidence in both going down through the grade.
Look, some ally.
All right, this is really important. Guys, you have to understand the importance of this. We're seeing the same thing in gun rights polling. We're seeing the same thing in buying habits of the population. All of the things that the left is telling us have been norms are reversing. Again, confidence that Zelensky is not going to start World War III Yeah, that's going way down. 48%. Again, independents and Republicans. The same shift is happening in our gun rights. The same shift is happening against corruption. Guys, you are literally living in the timeline where it's all shifting back and back hard. Okay, let's continue. That it never happens in the American population. He's right. That's the point. Let's keep going.
Of President Trump have targeted Zelensky with harsh criticism over the last few years, and it could be that that's having some impact.
Absolutely. The Republican establishment, the Republican electorate has moved as the Republican establishment and Republican leaders have moved on.
All right, let's talk about the idea of a peace deal. And again, the way you ask this matters, but go ahead.
The way you ask it is important, so we can talk about this a little
Completely
bit.
trying
so
to...
The whole question essentially is, do you support a Russia-Ukraine negotiated peace deal? The vast majority of Americans, this is what they want. 78% say that they support this idea versus just 16% opposed. Of course, as we were talking about, does this question actually get at what's going on right now? I think you would say that it probably does not necessarily get what's going on right now.
No, the question asked, do you support a Russia-Ukraine negotiated peace deal? Ukraine's not there at the negotiations in Saudi Arabia this week, so the people were not asked this. And I do think, in general, if you ask anyone in any poll, do you support peace, peace tends to rate pretty highly.
Peace tends to win. You rarely get 78% of the country agreeing on anything. They do agree on the idea of a negotiated peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. Whether the majority would agree on a Russia peace deal with Ukraine where Ukraine has nothing to do with it, that might be a different question.
Okay. Guys, you have to understand how important the BS level that this guy's trying to spin. The guy on the left is a left-wing apparatic. That is what he is. He is fully invested in the left-wing causes. He's a Democrat mouthpiece, okay? Always has been, always will be. You have to understand what he just said. He's trying to undermine the idea that the American population is sick of this war. We don't want to finance it. We are done with all this crap. He says, well, I mean, goodness gracious. If you ask anybody if they're for peace, then everyone's going to be. Okay, I'm sorry. Was that a point in your favor or a point against you? Because no kidding. It literally says 78% say negotiate a peace deal. Stop this crap. Oh, well, but it depends how you ask the question. In fact, Ukraine isn't even in Saudi Arabia negotiating. So Ukraine says we're not going to negotiate for peace, but Russia shows up with the United States and the Saudis? Doesn't that kind of sound like, I don't know, one party doesn't look too great? I'm just saying, it's not hard to look at the politics and the perception and the optics here, because this guy on the left is literally trying to say, well, everyone supports peace. And he's trying to undermine the dramatic polling that is shifting against the left. They are shifting against the war hawks. They are shifting against all the funding that is going out and wasting our treasure in our country that can be used for our emergencies and our people for a war that no one is supporting because the left, like this guy, wants the war to continue because they have a hard-on for Russia. All right, you do you, boo. You look dumb. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know if I landed that plane. I'll see you guys on the next one. And oh man, I'm just tired of winning. I'm just so tired of it. No, I'm not. Let's get more. I'll see you later.